Hello Pisces, and welcome to your January 2021 forecast for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. You can also check out in the link beneath this video your year 2021 special offer personal horoscope forecast and character analysis combination. This gives you an opportunity to gain searing insights into your individual situation. No two charts are the same. It ascends way above your zodiac sign in stunning detail. But in terms of your sun sign or ascendant, this month begins with the Sun and Mercury, but also Pluto in your sector of kinship, connections to others. And I think with the new moon of the 13th linking potently between the Sun and Pluto, your passion for the future in terms of orientating your direction is certainly going to be boosted. But also there's a great opportunity as you start this new year for your finances to significantly improve as Venus, the planet of attraction, is right at the top of your scope, but in an amazing link with Mars. Now Mars has probably caused some issues over the last 6 months as it's clashed in a series of right angles with Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto, the last of which was over Christmas time between Mars and Pluto, which may have led to a kind of dislocation between you and some of the people that you've been involved with. Perhaps your values are changing, perhaps you're becoming more attuned to your self-worth or even earning money and not so sacrificing as you've been in the past. But that's a good thing, but this may have created some kind of uncertainty around certain associations. But I think you really get the astral green light as Venus and Mars align in this brilliant way. And if you do want to raise your profile, be more successful, the solar eclipse of the 14th of December is pouring energy into the first 5.5 months of this year. But we can't get away from the fact that there is that conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter in your 12th house, which is very tender. And it's possible that at times, in the first 7 months of this year particularly, that you may want to find some space for yourself, or at least question some of the links and associations you have with others. And because you have Uranus, the planet of speed and rebelliousness and freedom in your 3rd house, your ideas are really very lively, vivid, but perhaps also constantly refreshing themselves. And with Mars moving into this area from the 7th, combining with Uranus on the 18th and 19th, it can make you much more outspoken. But also Uranus is clashing with Jupiter all this month, and it's clashing with Saturn for part of the month, along with Mercury and also the Sun. Now Mercury moves on the 8th into that very reflective 12th house. Ironically, Venus moves on the same day into the most sociable part of your situation. I think this is just saying to you, the sincerity of your best associations is what you're really going to be savouring the most. So I think this can be a year when you're sorting the wheat from the chaff when it comes to your network of connections. You're wanting the people who are more aligned with your values and ideas as they are now. So past relationships could be an area, perhaps even long-standing ties, that could go through a period of change, alteration, or even endings. But that clash between Jupiter and Uranus also points towards some of your ideas being very lively. Jupiter could see you, for example, being attracted to someone who's got a spiritual message, perhaps someone who is interested in organising retreats, or it could be that you're being more open to less conventional ways of thinking and being, and other people around you may find that more challenging. Once Saturn goes into the square with Uranus, that actually goes on pretty well for the first 7 months of this year. And one of the things that can cause for you is nervous tension, even exhaustion. So do be careful to make sure you get plenty of early nights. Take, obviously, the right type of nutrients in. Be cautious about what you eat and drink in general. Get a good amount of exercise, but don't invest too much in situations which cause you stress and worry, because for the first half year of 2021, that could be something that could just weigh you down, and anything to do with the past which is not really making you feel very good. Perhaps there's outstanding pain or situations or histories. It might really be worth investing in learning a lot more about your shadow side, the side that we're all a little bit less open to looking at. Perhaps the side of our natures or our personalities which don't always chime with others quite so sweetly. But this can lead to a fantastic growth in your awareness over the next couple of years with Saturn's help. So Saturn, please don't see Saturn as an absolutely bad guy. It can actually be a force for good. But it is true that once Mars does move into the sign of Taurus, there can be a speeding up. If you've thought about buying a new vehicle, it wouldn't be a surprise if it happened from then, but even you might surprise yourself exactly what it is. And then when Mars comes into conjunction on the 18th and 19th with Uranus, there could be a bit of a switchback going on. You could feel very, very restless, and you may even find yourself suffering with some full-on migraines and headaches. So just try to do some breathing exercises and keep things as cool as possible. But the new moon at the midpoint of this month also combines with Pluto. So this sense of change going on, fundamental change about your future, is very hard to resist. And I think it's a real paradox, really, because part of you may be orientated towards people that you can connect with very well, especially people with more profound insights. And some of the more lightweight, superficial relationships might make way. On the other hand, you might be drawn towards people who are lighter and more frivolous, and some of your more serious and reflective friendships may lose their appeal. It's really down to you. There's not going to be a golden rule on that. But as the Sun moves on the 19th into Aquarius and combines with Saturn, if there is something that's been niggling you in the back of your situation, the back of your mind, it is going to be very hard to resist looking at it. And if you don't, that's when more tension can start to build up, because of that square between Saturn and Uranus. And this isn't something that's just happening this month. As I say, it's going to repeat itself broadly for the first 7 months of 2021. So old debris, old emotional hurts need to be looked at, examined, and with the help of Jupiter, which is about knowledge and potentially wisdom, by reading things, watching videos, perhaps following new philosophies, and perhaps even going through some counselling, it would be very helpful and therapeutic to you. Now, there is on the 28th a full moon in the sign of Leo, but that's your 6th house of practicalities. The Sun's in your 12th house of emotions and psychology, but dissecting them in the T-square is Uranus. So if something is out of balance between your physical and more emotional worlds, it's going to show itself in stress, quite honestly. And Mercury then also goes into a retrograde on the 30th, and it could feel that people are not keeping in touch with you. They're not keeping you in the loop. There could be a sense of drift, a sense that you're not really being kept involved. And that can make you feel quite isolated, perhaps even a little lonely. And that can be very hard. I think one of the worst parts of COVID has been the level of isolation that so many people have encountered. And having lived on my own for a very long number of years, I have very serious respect for anyone who's gone through a period of living alone, because it does teach you a huge amount about how those people who have never done it don't get it. So I think there could be a part of you that finds it difficult to reach out to people towards the end of this month, but there could be a longing to do so, but almost like an inertia about actually making it happen. And of course, inertia is something that can affect you at times, because of the very nature of your sign. You're watery, you're the 12th sign, so you're reflective, you're the accumulation of all the other zodiacal experiences. But sometimes, because of Neptune being a dreamy, drifty influence, it's not always easy to get out of any patterns, because there's part of you that can almost be addicted to not actually breaking the pattern, which may sound a little harsh. I apologise. I don't mean it in an unkind way. My draconic ascendant is Pisces, and I can really relate to that myself. But if you do feel that you're going round in circles on something, try to find a way out. And that way out may be acknowledging the things that you find difficult, because that's the first big step. And then realising that may be something that you are feeling isolated, lonely, sad, unsure about, and then connecting you to the people who can be the right players for you at this time to open up and start to engage in the healing that Jupiter particularly is asking you to embrace this year. I have to say, Jupiter moves into your sign in 21 in the middle of May. It's going to be with you to the end of July and comes back right at the end of December. So you get a bonus ball with Jupiter moving into your sign. Okay, it's in retrograde for 4 months, as it always is, for some of that period. But generally, you get some of the magic of Jupiter this year. But I think you are being prepared to let go of the things that no longer serve your greater purpose. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Pisces. Wishing you all the best. Stay safe, take care, and goodbye.